this guitar lesson, I'm going to show y'all some country guitar licks in the key of A. And these are going to be little accent licks that you can play in between the singing or in between the vocals in a song. This is really common in country music. And the licks that we're going to learn today, we're going to borrow those from Gretchen Wilson's song called One Budweiser. And the version of this song we're looking at today is from her documentary called Undressed. And you can watch her documentary Undressed on YouTube. You can buy it or rent it. But I would highly recommend checking that out. It's got a lot of really cool acoustic performances of Gretchen and her band in their dressing room. And in that documentary, you can just pull a ton of really awesome guitar licks out of those songs. So that's basically what we're going to do today. I'm going to show y'all a lot of the guitar licks that her guitar player plays in One Budweiser, her song in that documentary. And after I teach you the licks, then I'll show you exactly how to use them when you're playing that song. So overall, just really cool lesson for learning some country guitar licks in the key of A. So anyways, let's get started here. We're going to pull up tablature on the screen, teach you the first lick, and then we'll go from there. All right, here is lick number 1. And by the way, we're actually going to put our capo on the first fret, but we're still going to use key of A chords and key of A scales, but we just got our capo on the first fret. So this tablature, everything here in the tablature is shown in relation to the capo. So right there, when you see the 5 on that second string, that's actually this note right there in relation to that capo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That makes sense. All right, so here we go. Let me play this first lick, and then I'll break it down for you. One more time, a little slower. All right, so that very first note, I use my pinky with my fretting hand, and actually I pluck the string with my middle finger instead of using my pick. You know, I pluck it with my middle finger, and it kind of gives it that nice little snappy sound to it, a little different sound. And I mute that note a little bit right after I play it. So pinky, and then slide down really fast with your ring finger or your fretting hand. And I use my pick for the rest of that lick. You know, it's all pick except for that very first note. So pinky, and then slide really fast right there from that 5th fret down to the 4th fret in relation to the capo. That's the first measure. Pause the video if you want to work on that. When you're ready, let's check out the second measure here. So it's pointer finger, your fretting hand, and then there's a really quick hammer on there on the 4th string. See that? Hammering from the 2nd to the 4th fret. So. And that little walk down, dun, 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 I use my pointer finger, I just work it down the fretboard. So let's put together the first and second measures so you can hear it. Land on that 4th fret, 5th string, you know, right there. And I use my ring finger. Just let that ring out. Really cool sound, this lick. And once you get this lick down, let me show you exactly where you can play this lick in the song One Budweiser. This lick actually happens right at the end of the first line, the first verse. So if we're looking at this first verse, I dropped a quarter, played Golden Rain on the jukebox. Order with the guy behind the bar. Just like that. Let's try it one more time, and I'll count it out. And by the way, you know, I dropped a quarter, played Golden Rain on the jukebox. That part, Gretchen Wilson sings that with no guitar or no rhythm guitar backing her up on that. But I'm just going to add the rhythm guitar over that A chord. Because if you were going to play rhythm, that's what you would be playing. There's two measures of A major. Up to 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 lick. So you notice that there's two measures of A chord behind the singing for that line. But then once this lick starts, you know, if we look at the actual tablature for the lick one more time, there's actually a quarter note rest and then the lick. So the lick actually happens on the 2 count of that measure. That makes sense. Drop to 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 lick. Dun, dun. Guy behind the bar. And there's this other cool lick over that E chord at the end of the second line that we're going to learn next. All right, so now let's learn the next lick. And this one is over the E major chord. And like I said, it's at the end of the second line of that verse there. Placed an order with the guy behind the bar. And this one's pretty straightforward. We're just going to do a little bend on the 5th string, 2nd fret. And I use my pointer finger. It takes a lot of finger strength to get that bend there. Bend. So you bend it up and you stop the bend at the top of the bend for those first 3 bends. So bend, 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 and then bend it up and let it back down. Bend. And then after you bend, let that bend come down, at the end of that 4th bend, you just do a little vibrato, you know, just kind of make that string, a little vibrato there, stretch that string back and forth, and it'll add that nice vibrato. All right, so now let's check out where you play this lick in the song. I'll show you exactly where you play it. Kind of already covered it already, but play through it one more time. And placed an order with the guy behind the bar. Ooh, kind of slipped a little bit there. Placed an order with the guy behind the bar. So if we look back at the tablature for lick number 2, you'll notice that there's a half note rest at the beginning of the first measure of that lick. And a half note rest, that means there's 2 counts in that measure that you're not going to play anything. It's a rest. You know, you're not going to pick or strum or pluck anything. So just count 2 counts, and then the lick starts on the 3rd count. So 1, 2, 3. Drop to listen. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, lick, lick, lick. That makes sense there. Okay, let's check out lick number 3. And this one's really cool. This happens in the second verse. I'll show you where you're going to play this lick in a second, but let's learn the lick first. Sounds like this. And this lick sounds awesome over an A chord. If someone's playing rhythm, A major chord, you could do. And there's a little hybrid picking going on in this lick as well, just like lick number one. And when I say hybrid picking, I'm talking about using your pick and your fingers in combination. So let's look at that first measure. With your fretting hand, you just got a bar across the second fret right there. And you'll do a little dun, 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 dun. And I'm doing pick, middle, and that's I'm plucking that with my middle finger there, see? Pick, middle, it's nice and slow, but sped up, it sounds really cool. Might take a little bit of work to get that down if you're not used to hybrid picking, but adds a really nice touch to all these country licks. Gives it a little bit different sound than just doing the pick. You could pick all those notes if you want to, but I like adding the hybrid picking. I think it sounds nice. So let's check out the first measure of that lick one more time. We got the first part, dun, 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 dun. And then next here we're going to use our middle and ring fingers to hit that double stop. And when I say double stop,